Wood Sandpiper and Green Sandpiper are two smallish waders, slightly bigger than the familiar dunlin, but about a third smaller than redshank. They're found across the whole of the country in small numbers, principally in late summer, autumn and early winter, although a handful of wood sandpipers do stay to breed in northern Scotland, and small numbers of green sandpiper remain throughout the winter. These two species can cause some identification challenges, and they do share several characteristics in common. Both are more likely to be found on freshwater habitats, and they can be encountered on really quite small patches of habitat. Both of them also have a medium length, stout, straight, dark beak, and a white eye stripe or supercilium in front of the eye, between the eye and the beak. Both species bob occasionally, although not as often as the more familiar common sandpiper. Luckily, there are several features that can help us tell these two species apart. Although, as with all waders, juveniles vary from the adult plumage, for both of these species the main ID criteria hold for all ages. Let's look at wood sandpiper first. This is a small to medium-sized wader, in overall structure similar to the much larger redshank. The overall impression is of an elegant bird, of a rich dark brown colour, with dark brown back, neck and head. Even when quite far away, there are obvious white spots or spangling on the back. The clear eye stripe or supercilium is strong behind the eye. There is dark spotting on the throat and chest, and this gradually breaks up, merging with the white belly. Overall, the bird appears neat and well proportioned. In flight, the yellowy legs project beyond the tail, and with good views, the barring on the tail can be seen to be narrow, and this often appears messy. Wood sandpiper calls are soft and bird, almost a chiff sound. They can be picked out in flight by their distinctive chiff-if-if call. Green sandpipers are stouter and more compact than wood sandpipers, which, along with their dark colouring, can give the incorrect impression that green sandpiper is the smaller of the two species. Although their legs are shorter, their body size is almost always larger than wood sandpipers. Green sandpipers are usually encountered singly or occasionally in small groups. Even more than wood sandpiper, this species can be found in quite unlikely habitat, sometimes being flushed from tiny overgrown ditches or puddles. On several occasions I have even encountered green sandpipers on the runoff from manure heaps. The overall impression of green sandpiper is of a very dark, almost black and white, neat bird, with a very dark back, neck, head and breastband, which ends abruptly into a clean white belly. Green sandpiper has no eye stripe or supercilium behind the eye, but shares with wood sandpiper the clear white markings in front of the eye. As soon as the wing is raised, a strikingly dark, almost black underwing is revealed, a distinctive feature to this black and white wader. In fact, in flight, green sandpiper can almost appear like a giant house martin with its white rump and dark tail. If seen close to in flight, it can be seen that the dark greyish-green legs barely project beyond the tail, which has broad, bold, neat black bars. As autumn progresses, more of the birds encountered are juveniles, and juvenile green sandpipers have browner plumage and more obvious spangling than the adults, so they can almost approach wood sandpiper in plumage details. Some juveniles even have a hint of a faint eye stripe or supercilium behind the eye. But for identification purposes, this is definitely a case where overall impression is more important than fine-scale feather detail, as the stout shape, clear-cut dark and white plumage, and above all the distinct, abrupt breastband are distinctive. On the ground, green sandpiper tends to be silent, but persistently calls in flight. They can be heard migrating sometimes, with a clear, thin, whistling to leet, leet, leet.